Hey guys, I'm Keely. This is my home. Welcome back to my channel. So about a month ago, I got strong feelings for this next year and strong feelings to look into the energy supporting 2016 in its entirety. There's a saying in I see it a lot in the Buddhist world, as above, so below. So everything that is happening in the universe, and that's why I referred to numerology or astrology or patterns in other people. We see patterns in other people, patterns in the universe, and we will start to see similar reactions throughout our lives. And so that's why I kind of analyze everything around me, because I will see that in my own life and the lives around me as well. First thing I noticed was 2016, 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 6 equals 9. Numerology wise, this is the last number. This is it. This is the dying. Dying in spirituality is really, really positive, because that just means there's new energy that is forming. It is, imagine the phoenix from the ashes. K2, which is the south node of the moon, conjunct with Neptune, which is like the deep Neptune. Imagine like waters, deep, a lot of old suppressed things, those planet or those spots or whatever were conjunct. So there's a lot of energy between the two, and they're both in the sign of Aquarius, which is, if you imagine like Steve Carell and I think it's a 40-year-old virgin dancing around the age of Aquarius, we are moving into the age of that Aquarian energy. So it's all a very spiritual alignment, and there are other, but that's a big one. There are other planetary alignments and things like that that are also conducive to really radical, especially for the next 18 months, really freaking amazingly radical spiritual change. And I've noticed a lot of the themes that people have talked about this year are karma. I'm not talking about karma in the sense of, well, goes around comes around, and it's just like this weird like meme that people post on Facebook or whatever. I'm talking about the Sanskrit word act, to act, action. Whether you believe in one life or you believe in a million lives, you have to understand that time is non-linear. So there's no past, present, or future. Every action that we have ever made is in this moment. Kind of trippy, huh? But every action that we've ever done is a result of this moment's action. So if you imagine there's no time, action is karma. What you put into the world, universe, your life, is the action that will come back to you. You also have to understand with karma, there are laws of the universe. The law of abundance, the law of attraction, the law of whatever. This is where a lot of people say, well, the law of resonance, a lot of people say, well, that person gets more than I do, and my life is pretty terrible, and I can just never get what I want, and even bad people get what they want more than me, and why do bad people keep getting good things? And honey, the universe isn't biased to good or bad. So it is just the resonance that we put into the world. And if we move closer to the actual laws of, say we're doing something good and we're moving in the same pattern of the law of attraction, then we're going to attract more, because we're working side by side rather than in a mode of friction with the universe. That's where you see bad people getting good things, good people getting bad things, is because we're working more with the patterns of the universe. One of the laws of the universe is, for every action, there is a reaction. Now this is very basic science, but think about it. For every action, there is a reaction. This is where that misconception of karma comes in, because that is a law of the universe. However, there is no positive nor negative. It is just how we resonate with the universe, because the universe isn't biased. It's going to give us what we want, no matter who we are. So for everything you do, you're going to see a certain pattern come up in your life. You're going to see certain people come around in your life. Certain habits happen because of something. That is your karma. The life that you live right now is the karma of your actions, the karma of your choices. Because this is 2016 and this is the year of the 9, which means transformation, and there's such a backing behind, you know, of spirituality within like the poles of the universe, the planets of the universe that are pulling in such like that are so conducive for spirituality. This is going to be a huge year. Like I said, this is going to be a phoenix from the ashes type of thing between this year and next year. This year is going to be the dying. We are going to remove, and with that, Neptune, Ketu, and Aquarius energy. So we're going to be diving really into our subconscious, our childhood issues, our patterns of our lives. And so you may say, like, how the fuck do I do that? Like, how do I dive into my subconscious patterns? If you see life as a non-linear thing, imagine all the lives, or if you don't believe in that, all the past, present, future is all stacked up on top of each other. So every action that you have ever made is in this moment in time. It's really trippy, but every action that you've ever made, all the karma, all the Sanskrit, all the action that you've ever had in your entire life is in this moment. So you can change your karma at any second if you want. So to notice karmic patterns and things, how you contribute to that karma and those moments in your life is going to point at your patterns of your life right now. There's a couple of things that you can do in your real life right now, but there's one big thing, and a lot of subcategories fall under it. So karma comes in patterns, the actions within those patterns and how they work together. So one fucking huge thing that you can do is switch up the patterns in your life, whether it's the organization of your home, the items in your closet in your home. Because if you did, you look at, say, you have, and I've talked about this, you have an entire 100-item arsenal of stuff in your closet, clothing, and things are from 2, 3, 5 years ago, and you always connect to that memory of you being you're wearing the dress a certain time, or you wearing those shoes a certain time. You connect back to that old, like, oh, that is me, that was me, you know, I formed my patterns on the idea that I am that person. Get rid of all the old shit. Start from a bare minimum and then work up. Because when you've defined yourself as something, as a person that wears something or whatever, then you're holding yourself back. It sounds really goofy, you know, to people that haven't dug into that part of themselves. But I guarantee when you get rid of an old piece of clothing or an old item in your home or something that you are holding on to just for sentimental value, you will have then detached from that. That's why hoarders have such an issue, because they can't let go of the past issues that are associated with the items that are those three-dimensional items that are holding them back and having them connect to a person that they thought they were. That's why it's so difficult for them to cut that off and detach from it, because who am I now? I'm not connected to this item. Remove that idea of I am this person, I was this person, I do this, these memories are attached. Remove that. Let something new flow into your life. The same thing goes with the organization of your home, for instance. Imagine that you are with someone for 5 years and you have the same setup, your couch, your dining room table, all the stuff is the same in your home. All the knickknacks, all the jazz. After 5 years, if that like say you broke up with the other person, or the other person broke up with you, whatever, that person is going to be, and you want to remove yourself from that situation. Part of the reason why you haven't removed, I mean, apart from other things, but part of the reason why you haven't removed yourself from that situation is that your home, if they're trying to remember you and remember memories and, oh, Christmases and this and that, you will have, they will be connecting with how your home looked for the last 5 years. Switch that up and see how that energy detaches from that other person. A couple of other things that you could do just to switch up that karmic energy in your life is read different kinds of books. If you're usually a story person, read a friggin' self-help book. If you usually buy certain brand of products, try something else. If you usually take one route to work, take another route to work. Just take an alternate route. But it's breaking those patterns. If you usually wake up at 8, wake up at 9, or wake up at 6. If you usually have a very structured pattern in terms of when you work out, when you eat, when you meditate, switch that up. Do meditation at night if you usually don't. Change your eating habits. Change and experiment with the person that you are and what works, because something is going to work better than other things. So you're not going to have the option unless you are willing to change. The biggest thing this year, apart from like meditation and eating well and all that stuff, let me explain this real quick. We have contracts with other people. So, and redefining and changing these contracts with people is going to be, I don't want to say detrimental because that's like a kind of negative-ish aspect, but it's going to be crucial in changing your karma. Imagine a man and a woman meet each other at a rock climbing club 5 years ago. And for 5 years, they've been a very active, lower chakra type of energy, type of boosty, type of feeling. They're always going out, they're always doing stuff, they're always hanging out. And over the course of a month, the woman in the relationship just loses everything. She just sits on her couch. She doesn't go to work. She doesn't do anything. Now, that contract has been compromised. That contract, which initially was, we're an adventurous team. We have learned to grow together as an adventurous team. When the one person doesn't necessarily, and it's not positive or negative, but one person doesn't necessarily work in terms of that contract anymore, you're going to see a lot of friction. Maybe this is a situation in one of your relationships yourself. If you see friction at all in a relationship, you need to establish where you two stand, and you need to talk about it. And if you're willing to change and they're willing to change, to meet at a level where we can reestablish ourselves. This happened the other day with me and my mom. For instance, and I never ever thought this was going to happen, but it happened because I was open. We were both open at the moment, and for some reason the universe pushed us in that way. She has always been a very overbearing type of personality towards me, and not always, because as a kid I think you somewhat need that, but as an adult she's been very overprotective. She's the type to text multiple times. It's whatever. It's just a mama bear thing, like whatever. And out of nowhere, and this is where you need to be open to these different patterns, because different opportunities will arise in your life from these patterns, that karma. The action of the patterns is the karma. So we ended up basically talking and energetically writing our contract with each other. And you have to, and this is something that was so strong for me to share, because a lot of people think that they are stuck in the relationships that they are, whether it's a parent or a sibling or work, whatever. Reestablish ground, relationship, the ground blocks of your relationship, and you're going to see a lot more positivity. Not only will things change karmically in the real world, but you will also get a sigh of relief, and that energy, that heavy energy of tension, will be lifted off of you. So that's part of the old habits, you dying off, is those old negative contracts and agreements with other people are going to die, and a new thing is going to be born. As long as both teams and both parties are willing to work and establish themselves, then amazing things are going to happen. Yeah, this is all I've got. So I love you guys so much. Thank you for sticking around for this whole video. I love you. Bye.